First of all, I feel terrible for St. John's fans. I am so pissed at the committee. And, this isn't just a St. John's thing. It's really not. Remember the old Requiem for a Big East, the 30 for 30? They got to put out another one. It's going to be called the Big East Screw Job. The Big East got bent over and absolutely screwed. And Sal, I spent all night trying to figure out why. And I honestly don't know. I keep coming back, and I don't want to believe this, but I keep going back to the television aspect, which is the money aspect. But I don't want to fully get sucked into that because that sounds almost too sour grapes-ish. For those who don't know, obviously the Big East is on Fox, who has the broadcasting rights for the Big Dance. That will be CBS. And then you look at the Mountain West and some other affiliations. That's just a quick thumbnail sketch.
You think that really plays a part in it?
I wouldn't put it past that room of crooks. That is what that room is all about. So I thought about this. And if you follow me on Twitter, I lean on metrics because you know why? These idiots tell me to lean on metrics.
And you were telling me the guy was like 99% or something like that.
Well, that's Lenardi. That's not. He usually is. I'm not talking about Joe, who is their preeminent bracketologist. I'm talking about the NCAA committee who has presented to us 2, 3, 4. Multiple data points that you should follow, that you should believe in, and it is a way to quantify success. One is the net rankings. Apparently, it means nothing. KenPom means nothing. Strength of schedule means nothing. But again, while St. John's definitely got screwed, they got screwed. So did Seton Hall, and so did Providence. So understand this. This is what I racked my brains on, and honestly, even when I strip away the emotion. Because I can't stand when good people and good kids get screwed. I can't stand it. If you're going to lose, right? But I thought about this once the emotion settled down last night, all right? And I tried to look at it as pragmatically as possible. And I'm sitting there saying, well, first of all, very quickly on St. John's, and then about the whole conference. I'm like, hold on a second. So you won 6 straight games to finish the season. 6, right? You lost up in Stores back in late December by a bucket. The last time you played them at the Garden, you were winning at the half. UConn's the defending champion, the number 1 team of the conference. You beat Seton Hall, and you're right. Everybody had them in, including me at that point. So you avenged the 19-point lead that you flushed down the chute in February. And then you play them Friday night, and you score 90 points, which is the most points that UConn's given up all season. Defending champion. So that's one thing. Then you're like, well, do we have strength in numbers? Yeah, you do. Because Marquette's been top 10 all season, and Creighton has, pushed their way inside the top 10. They've been top 15, top 20 all year as well. For the Big East, and it's the St. John's fans, it's the Seton Hall fans, it's the Providence fans, and I love what, Rick was classy last night. Rick was classy the way he spoke. Kim English was dropping expletives like, dude, this is an absolute travesty, what you did to our team and what you did to our program. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't, except that I've never liked the NCAA. I've never trusted the NCAA, and now I've gone to, and this happened a while ago, to loathing the NCAA because their agenda, it is so transparent. There is nothing objective about this. They got their little, think about the way the committee is formed. You got this guy from this school, this PD, this AD from that school. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke.
You're not gonna
that St. John's isn't playing and that Seton Hall is not playing.
You're not going to like what I have to say here.
Go for it.
The committee didn't screw St. John's or Seton Hall.
Yeah.
St. John's and Seton Hall screwed St. John's and Seton Hall. You've got to leave no doubt. I don't want to hear about this bubble team, first 4 in, first 4 out. St. John's didn't do enough. They woke up when Rick Pitino called them out. They won 6 straight. Great. They won a game in the Big East tournament. Great. If they would have beaten UConn, that would have been enough. Maybe if they won more in the beginning of their regular season, that would have been enough. I don't care what the numbers say, metrics say. They left it up to the committee. You can't do that. So St. John's didn't get screwed by the committee. They screwed themselves by not being good enough all year long. And that goes for the Big East, too. And you can talk about the Big East being a great college basketball tournament. Well, obviously, some people think otherwise. And I'm not just getting caught up in the Fox versus CBS thing. In general, if they were great teams, they'd be in.
What? Yeah, but think about who's determining the levels of achievement. It's a group of people in a room that I know they're crunching numbers, at least on some level, the numbers that they have told us for years that matter. And if you look at those objectively and you can quantify, these are irrefutable numbers then St. John's did do enough.
But other teams steal bids, or they go out there and stole bids.
That definitely. Saturday was the absolute worst scenario. That as this day was unfolding, I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
But when that happens,
I'll give you that.
Right? Okay, but that's part of why.
Yeah, but there's still other teams that are in there now that should not be in there that did not measure up to St. John's.
Hey, you want to get in the
tournament? The ACC stinks.
Punch your ticket. Don't make it like, it's a one. You know what? Next year, make sure you win the Big East tournament. That guarantees it's not up to the committee. So they screwed themselves by not being good enough. They left some doubt. Even if they were getting in, they still were on the bubble, so to speak. First four in.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But they weren't even among the first four out.
That's what I'm saying. So it's even worse than what you thought.
No, it's not. The committee's even dumber than I thought.
Seton Hall was on there.
I know. You know, I'll tell you.
Well, how's Seton Hall on there, not St. John's?
Well, maybe you lean on the fact that Seton Hall beat St. John's twice.
Okay, so now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, no, I hear you. That's why I'm sticking up for Seton Hall as well.
Right.
That's why when I started the show, and, the video that I put out last night, a couple of tweets, and by the way, you know that I wasn't ignoring you. I was coaching third base. I was going back and forth. We had 2 games yesterday. Oh, it was amazing. It was gorgeous out. And I got everybody texting me, and I taped that. I DVR'd the stupid selection show. And because our championship game started at 5:15, I said, I'm not and I told all the dads, because they're all big St. John's, Seton Hall fans, I said, don't tell me what's going on. And I couldn't help myself, and I looked at my phone at around 6:15. I'm like, no St. John's. I looked 6:20, no 6:30. And then you're texting me. Everybody's texting me. And then you put out a video last night like I'm ignoring you.
I didn't put out a video.
I mean, what do you call that thing?
I did the podcast, WFAN Daily.
That's starting to stir it up. Come on, I'm in no mood for that today.
I got to be honest with you. I didn't think anybody would be listening to it. Certainly not you. I didn't know they played on the morning show.
Well, that's the only reason I heard. Trust me, I'm not listening to it. I just started on the morning show.
All I said was the facts. I texted you. I'm thinking of you. Matter of fact, I'm looking at your Twitter feed to see if I didn't miss something here. I'm watching. I'm like, well, did I miss? Because I missed some of the first bracket unveiling.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And I'm like, well, maybe I missed that they got in early, but I'm looking at your tweet. I would assume that you would have said, like, congrats, we're going to wherever, we're going to Salt Lake City, whatever it may be. Nothing. And then I see at the end, nothing. And I'm like, bro, WTF.
And when was the last time you wrote me?
I get back, nothing.
When was the last time you texted me and I didn't respond?
No, never.
That's the first time.
No, I know. Well, that's why I was telling
the jungle was on, dude.
I was telling my wife, I goes, BT's going to be upset today.
I am upset. I'm upset. And,
I saw those videos come out, and I knew you were.
I was. People think that I'm upset for me. Because I don't get to do a game. Yeah, I mean, listen, of course that's one of the benefits. St. John's, they give me a chance to do many NCAA tournament games. I've done 2 in 20 years, dude. Of course, I'm a little selfishly looking to go and do this to have fun and to be in the middle of what I've watched my entire life. But I promise you, I am separating that. It is reprehensibly unfair. It is as I said in my video last night, it's a dereliction of your responsibility and duty to the sacred nature, and I say that tongue-in-cheek because the NCAA's been corrupt going back to John Wooden. John Wooden had a money man. Let's not get it twisted. The NCAA, they paid players back at UCLA back then as well. The NCAA.
Are you doubting the pyramid of success?
Not the book, but I know how they got some of their players. Trust me, they always had a point guy out in L.A. It is such a joke. It is a farce. And I look at every year the NCAA gets less relevant and more of a disaster. Listen, between the conference, everybody's jumbling, whatever they're doing. I want to keep it on point. I got it. But I don't know. If you tell me in 5 years the NCAA tour, it looks completely different. It might. I don't even know where it's going. Because when you don't acknowledge the power, the mega power that has been the Big East, not historically with Mullen and those guys. We all know that, and Ewing. I'm talking about this season. Idiots in the committee room. Did you watch college basketball? If you did, you know that you royally screwed the Big East, and I think it's because of the TV. There's a part of me that truly believes, I can't prove it. I have no problem throwing that out there as a theory, though, because those people in that room have been crooked since day one.
Brandon Tierney, Sal Licata on the Fan. Our friends at Town Fair Tire. Remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Jim is in South Brunswick. What's up, Jim?
You guys make me laugh. You guys are the same people who criticized and lambasted Florida State for tanking it in the bowl game when they got screwed. But you knew what it's about. the cat's out of the bag.
We've never talked about Florida State on this show.
Not on this
so
show.
I don't even know who you
It ain't
on
we.
every station,
Jim, you
not this
called
show.
BT and Sal, and you're saying you guys are funny, and you reference something we've never talked about
Well,
once.
the NCAA screw Florida State. If they got screwed, it's accepted now.
I don't understand what the hell this guy is
Get
talking
this guy
about.
off
Thank
our
you for the
show.
call. What are you talking about? We're talking about St. John, Seton Hall, Big East, NCAA committee. You're talking about Florida State. Did you lose the number or something? This is New York Sports Talk. You and I never talked about Florida State.
It never came up.
I mean, if
Honestly.
we did, I forget about it. I'm pretty sure we didn't. We went through a whole football season talking Jets and Giants.
Yeah, I did all that with Teak on the national scene. I mean, I watched the semifinals and the championship game. I couldn't care less about college football. It's a joke, too.
Wally's calling from Huntington, New York. What's up, Wally?
Wally, how are you, bud?
Hi, guys. I'm irate. All right, let me tell you something. The NCAA has always had it out for St. John's. I'll give you an example. I played on the team. I'm not going to tell you who I am. Doesn't matter. But in 1 week, we beat the number 2 team, Davidson. Then the following week, we beat the number 2 new team, North Carolina.
Okay.
But now we make it to the second team in the country. All right? What happens then?
Well, hold on, Wally, listen, Wally, I don't mean to interrupt your journey, and I do respect it. I'm not saying that tongue-in-cheek. But you said, forget about the minutia of how you got screwed. You said the NCAA's always had it out against St. John's. I've never really seen that. Lou Karnasek is revered. Coach Lapchick is revered. Explain, without your ranking issue, because I disagree.
Well, I don't.
Well, tell me why, though.
I was told they had one voter for the UPI and the AP. I'm not sure which one it was. They had one voter in the East.
Okay.
That was the coach of Harvard.
I got it. I got it.
And
Get some good calls on here today.
I mean-
I'm not putting up with this today. Get some people who want to talk about this. And not guys who were wearing Converse Chuck Taylors in the 60s. No disrespect. Jesus. Let's go.
Tim is on Long Island, 0 for 2. Tim, can you get a knock here, get us on base?
The
What do you got,
worst
Tim?
start to a show I've ever had.
Probably not, to be honest with you.
Let's go.
I listened to your show on Thursday, which is promoted by St. John's University. I listened for an hour, the hour I can listen to. You guys didn't talk Big East basketball at all.
The show.
And you
Are
never
you
talk
talking about
Big
when we
East
were
basketball?
when we were at Stout?
Yes, between the hour of 12:45 and 1:45.
Do me a favor,
Not
Timmy.
one
Do me a favor,
second.
buddy. I tell you what, man. Tim. Sal, are these planted calls to just see if I could lose my mind today? I mean, is this a bit?
Wait till we start
I'm
talking
actually
about the
starting
message.
to think that this is a bit. Who's that last call? Was that Tim?
Tim
Tim,
on
do
Long
me a
Island.
favor. So you just say you didn't hear anything. Go to the free Odyssey app, right? Go to Thursday. If we didn't talk about St. John's, if we didn't talk about Seton Hall, if we didn't talk about the Big East tournament, I will do somersaults over the Brooklyn Bridge naked. I mean, what the hell? What's going on here?
Tim said we didn't talk about it the hour that he could listen.
Okay.
So then, Tim, what you
Sorry,
should do is, as BT said, check the free Odyssey app, and you could go back and listen to any hour, not just the hour that you could listen to, and find out that we did talk plenty of college basketball that day. And we didn't. Did we start the show? We might have actually started the show.
Of course we did. I mean, oh man.
Now I will say that,
ahead.
while I understood that you didn't return my text,
Yes.
like it wasn't. I didn't take offense to it
No, I
whatsoever.
know you. But what?
But I did see then tweets and videos after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
Was it just one of those where you're like, all right, I'll deal with him tomorrow? Or
It's a great. No. I would never do that to you, honestly. The truth of the matter is, so if I look at my phone right now, which I am, and the only reason you are higher on the text chain that I currently have, because it's already building up again with the residue from yesterday. Right now, you are 1, 2, 3, 4. You are the 13th, and I texted you this morning.
Yeah.
You're the 13th text message that I have from now, like in terms of order of recency. But before I texted you back this morning when I was at a
You were getting
stoplight,
bombarded.
you were like 27. The day when I was on the baseball field all day.
I texted you the second that
I know. Well, why do you keep bringing that up?
Oh, just no.
What's the point of that?
Well, it's better than taking these calls. I don't know what the hell they're talking about.
That's true. That is true.
Errol is calling from Merrick. What's up, Errol?
Gentlemen, how we doing this morning?
What's going on, buddy? Sounds like a functional call.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I've been following St. John since the mid-'90s when Felipe Lopez, then Don Hamilton came into the program. I was like 9 years old. Been following them ever since. And there's no team I want more to be in the NCAA tournament than them. But when you look at things full scale and you look at the conference, the Big East, aside from those top three teams, what are you impressed about with these other teams? What gets what is Seton Hall, Providence, St. John's, Villanova, aside from early this season when they won that tournament down in Atlantis, I believe it was. Yeah. What have these teams done to show that they're worthy of being in this field? I mean, when they beat up on each other, you look at who St. John's played out of conference. Aside from that tournament in Charleston where they beat Utah and North Texas.
And they played Dayton. Yep.
I mean, they lost to Dayton. And then
no, they played them, I'm saying. Yep, I got you. Michigan early.
But then, West Virginia, Michigan.
I know. But Errol, here's the thing. Errol, but that's why I'm not just making it about St. John's. Like, that's the one that strikes me, and I'm sure a lot of our audience most intimately, but that's why I'm making sure to include Seton Hall and Providence. Like, all right, if we came in here today and the committee decided that Providence, based on more quad one wins, Seton Hall, some really good wins as well. They beat St. John's twice. It would be a little bit of a different energy. Now, I would still say for sure, based on the net rankings and all the other meaningless numbers that really they've regurgitated for years that don't mean anything. Quite literally, they mean nothing. I would reference that. I'm sure I'd be bothered. I'd be disappointed like many of you. But this is about the conference as much as it is about the school. Individually, St. John's. Like, if Seton Hall was in,
I think you can make it,
along with Creighton,
right.
Obviously UConn and Marquette, there's less to complain about.
They were the first four out, though.
But they're not in.
No, well, and had they beaten St. John's, I wonder if the other way around, if they beat St. and we'll take a break and we can discuss this further, and another aspect of this where maybe St. John's got screwed as well. We could do that on the other side. But what if Seton Hall beat St. John's in the Big East tournament? You think they automatically get in if they're one of the first four out? Yeah, because St. John's, well, then again, the numbers don't mean anything. I was going to say, based on the hike in net ranking that win would have given them, I would say, yeah, but they don't abide by that stuff. I can't stand the NCAA. Crooks. I'm getting that sense. BT and Sal on the Fan, more your calls on the other side.